Have you ever tried so hard to build something only for every single door to slam directly in your face, guys? Well, you apply for jobs, nothing. You try to relocate, roadblocks every single direction. You pitch your skills to people and they reject you without even giving you a fair chance. Well, that was my experience, and in today's video, I'm here to share how I got out of it. Hey friends, my name is Sharon, and on this channel I share about my walk with Jesus. If that is something that is of interest to you, then keep watching because today I have a testimony to share. So in 2022, I was a single mother living in Kenya, looking for work unsuccessfully, feeling completely stuck. I didn't know at that time that God was doing a massive pruning, cleanup in my life. He was closing every wrong door so that I would have no choice but to walk through the right door. So today I want to share the true story of how I moved to Thailand as a single mother, the rejections, the 7-day financial breakthrough challenge that I used, and a 3-day fast, and a miraculous way that God aligned accommodation, flight tickets, and a teaching path when I least expected it, guys. So if you're in your waiting and you're waiting for your breakthrough, your waiting season, grab a cup of coffee, tea, sit down, and let's have a chat. So it all started in 2022. I was struggling to find work in Kenya, and spiritually, I knew I needed a shift. So I decided to do a 7-day financial breakthrough challenge. And while I was in the middle of this challenge, 3 specific things happened. And at the time, every single one felt like a setback to me, guys. Like, I was like, what is all this happening? The first thing is that I pitched to handle social media marketing for a tour company based on Mombasa Road in Kenya. And the manager was so supportive. Like, he spoke to his boss and everything looked promising. But when I went for the official meeting, the main boss wasn't there, that's the husband, but his wife attended the meeting instead. And she looked at me and she completely rejected my pitch and walked away. And to this day, I have never received any feedback from that particular meeting. Well, it hurt, but right then, I made a spiritual decision that that door was closed by God and I will not force it. So I looked outside Kenya and I started applying for teaching jobs in Asia. And my first target was Japan. And I secured an interview through an agency. I felt hopeful, guys, but I didn't make it past the first round. That was door number 2 closed. And then I tried Vietnam. I literally traveled to Tanzania just to apply for the visa and navigate the document processing. It's really complicated, guys, to teach in Vietnam from Kenya. But the bureaucracy was so complicated, expensive, and chaotic that it felt like I was pushing a giant boulder uphill. I eventually just had to let it go. That was 3 rejections in a row. But here is the lesson. A closed door is not a sign that God has forgotten you, guys. It's protecting your destination. So have that in mind. And while I was still researching both Vietnam and Thailand as potential options, I decided to go into a 3-day fast. And I stopped relying on human strength and surrendered the journey entirely to God. That was the turning point, guys. The moment I surrendered, alignment started happening effortlessly, guys. Because as I was returning from Tanzania, after attempting the Vietnam document process, a friend of a friend unexpectedly called me. he said, like, I heard you're looking into Asia and I have information on the exact process to go and teach in Thailand. And then came the final day of my 3-day fast, guys. My sister-in-law called me all the way from Australia just to check in and to see how my research for teaching in Thailand was going. And I shared where I was at. And without hesitation, she just said, I'll sponsor your ticket to Thailand. That to date is my destiny helper. I'm so grateful to her. So I sat there in awe. In 3 days of fasting, God did what months of striving could not do. And before leaving Kenya, I did thorough research on entering Thailand on a tourist visa. My friend advised me that once I arrived the ground, I would need to gather all my paperwork together to transition legally into teaching in Thailand. And that meant preparing to sit for an English exam. That was an English proficiency test called TOEIC, to secure my police clearance, and physically applying to schools to land a job and secure a non-B visa and work permit. As a single mom, living across the world without a fully signed contract yet takes immense faith. But God had already prepared the landing pad. As soon as I landed, I was connected to a wonderful, wonderful family living in Bangkok. Their children had temporarily returned to Kenya to get new passports because they were young babies, meaning they had an open room in their home for an entire year. And I had a safe, warm family accommodation waiting for me before I even packed my bags, guys. That is how amazing God is. So looking back at 2022, if that wife at the tour company had accepted my pitch, I would still be in Mombasa Road. If Japan hired me, I would have missed Thailand. If Vietnam had not been a complicated process, I wouldn't have experienced this specific blessing. So guys, every no was preparing me for God's yes. If you are a single mom, someone struggling with joblessness, or you feel stuck after constant rejections, I want to encourage you today. Trust the closed doors. Keep praying, keep researching, and when God aligns the path, take the leap of faith. Thank you so much, guys, for listening to a piece of my story. If this encouraged you, please hit the like button, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments section. Have you ever experienced something like this? A closed door that turned out to be a blessing? I will definitely be seeing you in the next video. Bye bye.